It's December 17th, 2008, and everyone's fired.
This is Idle Thumbs 10.
Idle Thumbs. Games, video 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 games.
This is Idle Thumbs 10, and I'm Chris Remo from Gamma Sutra.
I'm Nick Breck from Shack News.
And I'm Jake Rodkin from Telltale Games.
Thanks, Jake Rodkin.
I work there.
Sweet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
Video games.
Let's stop talking about that and talk about video games.
Okay, fine. Did either of you guys actually watch the Spike TV Awards?
The VGAs?
The VGs? The VGAs?
VGA.
I watched some parts of it, and then afterwards I watched the exclusive clips on game trailers, but I didn't really watch the show.
Yeah.
I heard that this year it was judged by the top critics of the games industry, and not just some schmoes like their audience.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
heard
cool.
that.
Well, yeah.
But like someone just told me that. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It still seems stupid to me. I mean, like,
I didn't mean that as points for
No,
the
I
VGA.
know,
Right,
I know.
yeah.
I mean,
The top critics.
If that's true, I mean, that's probably true.
The
I
top
mean,
critics as picked by our viewers.
Sweet. No, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing seems so insane. Like, I did see the Brutal Legend part, and like, while it was hilarious to see Jack Black like publicly sort of exalting Tim Schafer, it was still like just weird and awkward.
It was really
and, like,
awkward and kind of painful to watch,
Yeah.
and made me embarrassed to be watching it. Even though,
Yeah.
like, whatever. I like Tim Schafer.
Yeah.
I like Jack Black. Looking forward to Brutal Legend. I like flamethrowers. But in combination, just the whole
you
was not
combine-
quite. It wasn't quite the
Yeah.
sum of its parts. It was kind of
Sometimes
actually
when you
just.
combine those things, you get fucking dead guys. Sometimes you get a terrible award show.
That's true, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's what
But
they
yeah.
say.
Yeah, so my limited experience with the Spike VGAs was that it was really awkward and made me a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I saw the Mafia 2 trailer and was like, that's
Mafia 2
pretty sweet.
trailer looked really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
That's all in game too, or at least in
Yeah,
engine. I
well,
mean, I
it's-
guess it's like a sort of just,
Yeah,
I don't know what it's.
what it is, but it's using their renderer, their game engine renderer,
Yeah.
and their animation department
Yeah.
combined.
Well, and it's also just kind of a really kind of on target 60s. Like what decade is that? Because it's later than the original Mafia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm
60s,
sure if I was looking at the
somewhere
trailer now, I'd be able to say that more confidently. Maybe 70s. I don't know. But it looked really nice, and they just sort of got the vibe you'd want out of that kind of world. I mean, that there isn't even much stuff like that going on in like a GTA game, just like a scene like that. I hope that there actually is a scene in the game where your character is in church and your like sort of classic immigrant Italian mother is boxing your ears to get you to go into confession. Like,
right.
that's pretty great. That's a pretty good thing to include in a video game.
Yeah. I don't know. I was reading the Variety blog, and they were critiquing the trailers on the VGAs, and the guy was just like, yeah, my own Mafia 2, you know, it's obvious that it's a Godfather 2, you know, ripoff, but like, why don't they just show what the game's about? Like, you know,
Oh
why?
man, you meant like Godfather 2 the movie.
Yeah.
thought
It's
you
obviously a
meant-
ripoff of EA's Godfather 2.
EA's upcoming The Godfather 2.
Yeah.
More
God.
Godfathers.
Did you? I don't. You guys.
Godfather.
You guys probably didn't see the Robert Duvall like interview that they
I saw
put
a
out.
still
No,
from it and
I
was
didn't.
ashamed. And
Oh
didn't watch
God, it was horrible.
What is
It was
this
just
that
like
you're
some
talking about?
impromptu interview with
Why?
him and
Who's
like just a
interviewing
game
Robert Duvall and
developer.
why?
Just like an EA
EA
developer.
is interviewing?
Just some like
Why-
random.
Oh, is he
producer.
in The Godfather 2?
Yeah, he's doing voice work.
No.
Well, I thought you meant someone interviewed.
We're inside
like,
Robert
there was
Duvall's
interview-
house.
Let's see.
We've got a contract here for The Godfather 2.
with Folgers crystals. Let's see.
We've
We've
Sent you with
replaced
a
his
check.
DVD of The Godfather with The Godfather the game. Let's see if he notices.
Yeah, so that's I guess not what happened.
No, they were just like,
Bad, 'cause that
he
was
was
hey
actually-
Robert, like, what do you think of the Don's view? And he was just like, you know, it's great, video games. Just like,
Those are always
God,
so
it was embarrassing.
I
like,
I did see the Dennis Hopper interview about Deadly
that was like
Creatures,
the exact same
where
thing.
it's just like, I think the kids are going to like this video game.
Yeah.
Because you can fight with the bugs and it looks like a movie. And it's like, what? What are you talking about? Like, why do you... Also, the voice was just like, hey there.
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper, ladies and gentlemen. Like, Academy Award nominated.
The Duvall thing was the same thing. It was just like him sort of doing like classic Godfather lines, but being like even more like a lot more depressed. Like, because he's just clearly didn't want to be there. He's just like, give him the money. Like, just like really...
He's world weary, is what you mean to say.
Gotta do that. And it just really...
Who does he put? Was he in the first one? I didn't play the first one.
I don't know. I don't think he was. But
also, by the way,
I don't know.
As far as Mafia 2 goes, ripping off Godfather 2, if you're going to rip off a movie, which every video game rips off a movie, you could do a fucking lot worse than Godfather 2.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
I would love to see a game
They threw in like the Ring of All Evil just for kicks, though. That's the B thread that they haven't actually given away in Mafia 2. So...
I mean, why does he say that? Is there actually flashback stuff going on in Mafia? Because that'd be sweet.
I don't know.
Like if you were actually going like
probably
the old,
just that it's a period
like flashing back to the
movie.
old country. That would be amazing.
I mean, game.
Yeah.
But why Godfather 2 then specifically?
Because it's a little later than
I guess
the first
everyone
one.
knows.
He may have said
Rip
just the
off
Godfather in
2.
general. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But he was just
that seems
disappointed that didn't show like gameplay footage. You know.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, it's
a
sequel
preview.
though. I mean, it's
I
a
know.
sequel too.
Yeah, that's true. You kind of know what the gameplay is.
Pretty much know what you're getting.
Or do you?
Well, probably if you're watching the VGAs, you probably don't actually know what Mafia was.
Well, surprise! It's now a casual games gallery.
It's on the Wii, lead platform on the Wii.
iPhone game.
Do you guys see Guy Kroll suggest that developers now use Wii as their lead SKU?
Oh, really?
Worst idea, possibly. I don't know. That just seems like a terrible idea to me.
Yeah.
Because you'll sell all the games now. Or you'll just piss off everybody. This game was built for the Wii, but it's not really a Wii game. Both sides hate you.
This is totally random, but did you guys see like the Ghostbusters, the Wii version
I've
of
seen
Ghostbusters?
Oh.
The Wii version? No,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I just saw some random goofy shot. Like,
Is it like the real Ghostbusters?
I
now?
just want to point out, I somehow...
Let's distract this distraction.
Well, real quick, because someone will notice, and I can't believe I just called them sides. Like, I just made explicit reference to, like, the console war. As both sides. Like, fuck me for saying that. Anyway, go ahead, Nick.
well, anyway. Yeah,
Anyway, the real
it's
Ghostbusters.
the actual Ghostbusters, the video game. Like it's not like super realistic, but it it sort of looks like
It's not
actual
super
people,
realistic.
But
It's not a simulation.
It's not
a
hyper-real,
ghost fighting.
you know.
Oh, you mean graphically?
Graphically speaking, artistically
Oh, but the
speaking,
gameplay is a
style-wise.
simulation. It's a Ghostbusting sim.
Yeah.
They're bringing back the sim genre.
Yeah.
It's like one of those. You've got to like take off the suit and deal with all those little
It's
knobs
got physics.
and.
Well, yeah, you better know how to
sliders.
run an unlicensed nuclear accelerator because this game, you have to build your own
can just
crazy
switch it on.
Ghostbusting shit.
Ghost Tycoon was the working title.
But then they got the Ghostbusters license.
Yeah.
Lucky
They got
for
it from
them.
Zootfly.
So anyway, what were you actually
Stolen
going to
it.
say about this game?
I was just gonna say the Wii version looks really goofy. Like,
Ba-da-ba. Nick Brecken, ladies and gentlemen.
It's goofy.
it looks really
Hey.
goofy. And they got like
You just
goofy
need-
faces. They're like, like it's just fucking
You
crazy.
and your goofy face. Get out of
Yeah.
my sight.
That happens. That's a decent sort of trend that happens. I don't mean decent as
Yeah.
in good. I mean decent as in happens decently often.
Right.
Of like, you've got this game that looks like a different game, and then on the Wii,
It just made me laugh.
well,
yeah.
we'll just tune shade it and make everything goofy.
Hey. Speaking of goofy, I saw.
You were watching a goof troop.
I recently watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the first time in like 15 years. That movie's awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking
I
good.
just got to say, that movie's really cool.
Do you know it was Japanese?
Shut up.
Oh, wait, that's nobody's
That's
getting
Milo
I,
and
I
Otis.
forgot that nobody. Yeah.
We learned last week after recording the podcast that Milo and Otis was a Japanese movie originally. Go figure. Anyway,
Blowing minds.
now you know we just blew your mind right now.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Roger Rabbit,
IGN.
though, is all American.
Support our movies. Anyway,
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of Mafia
Games.
2, Roger Rabbit's a great movie.
yeah. Well, it's probably going to be good. I don't know. I
Mafia
think
2,
that
clearly
game-
a ripoff of Who Framed Roger
Yeah.
Rabbit.
Yeah, pretty much. Which really, when it gets down to it,
Well, I mean, if you're gonna
they
rip
were-
off a
they
movie,
were really just ripping off Godfather 2. Anyway,
which was a ripoff
some
of Chinatown.
Yeah. The classic steamroller scene.
God, speaking of movies to games to movies and everything, did you guys see that Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, the movie, will now have a game based on it?
What?
So Prince of Persia, Sands of
heard this.
Time, the game, the movie, the game.
Man, I hope it's like Street Fighter the movie, the game, where it's just a weird FMV sprite game starring Jake Gyllenhaal or whoever it is.
Oh yeah, he's in that.
So
he's
Oh
in
my
this
God!
one.
Did you guys see the
get ready for
Watchmen?
Uncanny Valley Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Oh, the Watchmen. That was also released with the Spike stuff.
Oh my God!
That was quite possibly one of the worst trailers I've ever seen in my life.
God, that was terrible.
Like, I'm already kind of uneasy about the Watchmen movie, you know,
Yeah.
just because, like, I don't know, Zack Snyder, who knows if that guy will make a good movie, but whatever. I mean, at least it looks pretty nice. And then you get to the game, and it's just like, what? I just watched 2 minutes of, like, a dude walking around and, like, hitting a guy.
Yeah.
Like, is that really what this... Is that...
Yeah.
I mean...
No, yeah, that's what I got out of the comic.
Sweet.
You know, scissor picks. Pretty cool.
Doing the Watchmen justice. Yeah. Anyway.
I thought that was like a move. The Watchmen Justice.
It probably is.
Yeah, it probably is.
That's a
Unlockable.
Watchmen justice.
Yeah.
Says the back of the box. It will blow you away.
Alan Moore.
Yeah. And I guess the other, I mean, there was also the, God, this is a freewheeling episode we've got going
We're
here.
talking about the VGs.
Yeah, I guess it's all one topic, the VGs. There was the Dante's Inferno stuff, which, like, I have to admit, like, there's no way that game's actually going to have anything
If
to
you
do
loved the
with
book.
its source material. Yeah. But, like, at least the first half of the trailer, so I'm like, all right, well, whatever. They've got artwork that's sort of interesting, and it's kind of hellacious and crazy looking and stuff. And then they get to the thing, and there's like, I'm going to slam a cross into a fucking forehead.
Get ready to go to hell.
Yeah, go. It didn't even, not even get ready. Go to hell.
Was that what?
Electronic Arts. What? I guess I'll go to hell when I play your game.
You will,
Yeah.
says Moms.
Tycho on Penny Arcade made a pretty good observation, which is, isn't that poem pretty much Dante walking around making like interesting philosophical comments? You know, or he's thrusting crucifixes into the splintering skulls of
Is that
goblins.
work? Is that work in the public domain? I guess it is.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
weird things aren't.
Who would
sometimes.
own the copyright
Yeah,
to Dante's Divine Comedy?
EA has licensed the Penguin Books paperback of Dante's Inferno.
I guess theoretically they could license a specific translation.
We brought in that guy.
Yeah, right. They do a developer video
the
with that guy
documentary.
with the angle, like with the
Right.
camera at an angle and like backlit, so he has a silhouette. Well, actually, from the original old Italian, it's
Go to hell. It's just CG lava, just
Right.
Yeah.
blast that guy. Oh, school sucks.
that nerd just got pwned. Go to hell.
Rated M.
Electronic Arts.
So that's gonna be a sweet game.
Yeah.
Spike TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing, just what a stupid thing.
That's the
The whole
Nashville
Spike
Network.
TV. For the Nashville Network.
Yes.
That's old. I don't think they're called that anymore. I think they're the National Network now.
Oh, I know. That's Spike TV.
Oh, are they? Is that the same channel?
Yeah, TNN.
Oh wow, I'm out of date. I haven't had cable service for like 8 years.
I believe it's the National Network.
I don't know anything about things. Anyone who doesn't live in the United States thinks we're idiots right now. They might already. Anyway,
I don't know. It helped. It's good to know like the etymology of Spike.
yeah, I guess it is. Okay. Anyway,
They used to have a lot of country music on that station and Star Trek: The Next Generation reruns. Now they have the VGA
how long are we
awards.
gonna keep talking about this?
I think it's a valid point to make.
I guess it is. Anyway, speaking of EA, I mean, so Nick, was it you guys actually on Shack who first reported today about this Steam thing, or
I guess, yeah.
am I making that
Yeah.
up? Okay, that's cool.
I mean, yeah,
Wanna
we just
explain
got a tip from a dude, but
Yeah.
it's not like we were like, digging it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
but,
I mean, do you want to?
but yeah, no, this guy noticed that the Spore end user license agreement,
EULA.
the EULA, yeah.
Spore Eula.
Spore EULA.
Uh-huh.
It was just sitting on the Steam web, on the Steam apps, not Steam apps, Steam whatever web
Steam
page,
powered.
Steam
Steam
apps.
powered, yeah, web page. So probably Spore going to be on Steam, which would, I guess, that would be EA's first in-house title on the service. So that would open up a lot of doors for them.
That'd be cool. I would like to see that. Just basically because I like buying things on Steam.
Yep.
Wait, the Spore Eula revealed that it was on Steam.
Well, no, just
well, no,
but
it's
the
not
fact
on
that the
Steam
Spore
yet.
EULA was on the Steam website
Oh.
suggests they're probably, yeah. We might see it there in the future. The future of games. The future of Spore. Yeah, I'm becoming such. I actually feel kind of bad about this because I don't know. I mean, I probably don't need to be this hardline about it, but I've become such a ridiculous Steam snob where it's just like it feels like a chore for me to play games on the PC that I can't get through Steam. Like I've become so reliant.
Welcome to the future.
It's just so convenient. It's just ridiculous. I don't know.
When you install another game, you probably add it to your Steam list.
I do, yeah. I just use Steam as like instead of a start menu for games, I just use Steam. Especially because on Windows Vista, games go into the games folder, and so it's not that much different than loading up Steam anyway. So, like Prince of Persia, for example, like when that came out on Steam when it came out, and I was actually considering getting it from Amazon or something, but Amazon didn't get it in on the day it released, and Steam already had it up there. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm buying this from Steam. So I did, and I probably there was a chance I may not have bought that game at all had it not been on Steam.
Yeah,
right.
So.
What do you think of that game?
Well, yeah, Prince of Persia.
Prince of Persia? God, it's really not the game I think they should have made.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was really afraid. I sort of pegged that game like a month out just by randomly guessing that this is, just based on my experience with Assassin's Creed.
Oh, really? Yeah. Because
I mean, I just feel
but
like
it's not open world. It's not open world at all. I don't think it's.
Well, no, I've
heard
just the way that it's so forgiving,
the consequence free.
Yeah, that just
world
screams
movement
Ubisoft to me
stuff.
at this point.
It's funny. I was thinking about the issue with the completely forgiving nature of the game where you cannot die. I mean, literally, if you mess up, you go back to the nearest checkpoint. But the nearest checkpoint is literally the last time you jumped. It's just like the edge of a cliff where you start doing a trick or whatever. Not a trick, God. Like a
sweet grind.
Yeah, right. A acrobatic maneuver. And it's an interesting decision. I mean, on the one hand, it's like, well, really, that's not that much different from what you're doing in any game. You're just cutting out the fluff. You're cutting out the bullshit where you do the same thing you just did 10 seconds ago.
It would also cut out the rewind, but
Yeah, but, the rewind in Sands of Time is not unlimited.
Right, exactly. Like, well,
there's such a
I'm not
crazy
arguing
consequence in that, and I like that.
It's also a much more elegant solution. Like, it actually feels like it integrates with the game in a meaningful way.
Yes.
That was what was so weird about this to me with Prince of Persia. I was thinking, well, I can understand why a developer would want to, especially in a game that relies on doing these crazy acrobatic moves. I can understand why they'd want to remove that immediate, you're going to die all the time. Yeah. But the thing that blew my mind is, like, in this very series, 3 games ago, you guys implemented, like, the best version of that I've seen in a platforming game, like, up till Braid, maybe, which is the time rewind thing.
I don't know how the new one plays, but one thing that I really liked in Sands of Time about the way the rewind mechanic worked, where, it's up to you both from a sort of skill standpoint and from a just your willingness to rewind time standpoint. So you die and rewind, et cetera. But if you do really drastically fuck it up and it pulls you back, that game, I mean, there was admittedly really only one main route through a thing.
Right.
But the fact that the game, if you really, really, really were blowing it, force you to go back.
Blew you away.
If it really blew you away. I mean, I found, at least partly because I suck at these games, that because of the fact that I was dying and had to go back, I ended up finding better ways to do it, and I ended up becoming a lot better at the game. Whereas a game that, like, this game is basically, in a way, admitting that there's only one way through.
Right.
Like, if you miss this jump, it's okay. It's actually, you're on the right track. It's the only jump you can take. In Sands of Time, if you fuck it up, you can go back and go, okay, well, maybe I actually need to reassess what I'm doing.
And that, part of that is sort of just an illusion, really. But it makes you,
both the use of the sand and the sort of slightly clumsy but very player mandatory controls for every player movement, grappling and jumping and all that stuff. It does make you feel like there's a lot of player intent involved, and it feels like a lot of that has been cut, which sucks, because Sands of Time and Ico were the first games that made me personally realize that, like, just basically 2 analog sticks was like all the sort of virtual reality you would ever need. Like, I guess this is a weird diversion to go off on.
Yeah, but in terms of that certain type of physicality and kind of interaction with an environment, like in a really dynamic, fluid way.
The connection between what my eyes were seeing and what my brain was doing, like my hands and the controller became invisible in those games.
And that's
I felt like I was doing it. I didn't feel like the game was doing anything without my telling it to.
And that's what's one of the things that's such a shame about the new Prince of Persia is that when you actually get into it and you get into kind of a run, which is actually fairly, coincidentally fairly similar to the feeling you get in Tony Hawk when you pull off a really ridiculous string of moves. When you get into one of those in the new Prince of Persia, it still feels just as amazing. When you're going through and literally hitting every jump and like riding up every wall and slinging over across everything. I mean, it's pretty goddamn great. Like, it feels fantastic. But then as soon as you fuck up and nothing goes wrong, it's like it sort of cheapens the times when everything works right.
Right.
Like it's like, well, I mean, I guess I could just keep fucking up bit by bit. Like it's never forces you to master it in a line. And that's what's weird, because it really excels at creating that great sensation of the unbroken line, and then it sabotages that exact design constraint, which is really weird. I mean, there's also just the first hour of the game, which I found almost intolerable, where every single time you do anything, the game's like, don't forget, you gotta jump right here. Like, you got a wall run. This is the part where you jump. Jump now. Jump.
Wouldn't it be great, especially when you're making the 4th entry in a series, if you could let players turn off tutorial tooltips?
Yeah.
Here's how you swing your sword in Zelda. Thanks.
Yeah. It was pretty insulting. Also, you're interrupted constantly for mandatory. As far as I can tell, they're 100% mandatory unless there's another button on the Xbox 360 controller that I plugged into my PC that doesn't. No, I pressed every fucking button.
Center bumper.
You've got to do like what you had to do on the
plug in the microphone.
Like what you had to do on the old consoles, like hold down every button, then it'll do a soft reset. You got to do that. That's how you skip the cutscenes.
So you can't skip cutscenes?
No, you can't.
Spoiler.
Oh. And it interrupts all the time to have this banter between the prince and the princess.
The best part about and Sands of Time was that it just happened
in line. Like you're slipping around. Like that,
well, there's some of that in this game, but it's constantly making you stop and talk to each other. And also, the prince is just kind of like a douche version of Disney's Aladdin. He's just like he's just like
sing?
Smarmy. That would be awesome. Why doesn't anyone made a musical game? That'd be hilarious.
That would
probably
be fun,
have,
actually.
But, no, he's just like, everything he says, it's like the princess says something, he's like, oh yeah? This badoo-bop, skiddy-bop? And it's like, yes, she just said that. Boy, I wish I wasn't on this adventure. Like, well, you fucking are, so stop being an asshole.
I'm stuck with you the whole time. Be interesting.
And then, of course, he, like any sort of stupid half-assed video game character, he immediately flips a switch to, I care so deeply about what you're doing, and like, oh, it's like, what? Okay.
So at the end of the game, is like secretly he's just a weird, two-faced, manipulative cunt.
See, that's the kind of shit I want out of my video games.
Like whenever she's within earshot, he's like, I love you, and then she sort of walks out of his sort of like sphere of influence. Like, fucking bitch. God.
That would be amazing. Can you imagine if someone implemented that on a context-sensitive basis? Because there's actually a button you can press in this game to initiate just like a goofy little repartee between the two characters. If that was actually proximity based.
She walks over. I can't. Oh, hey, honey.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I'll never let you out of my sight. And then when she walks out of your sight,
thank God.
Jesus, get rid of that ball and chain.
Great.
Like that would be really amusing. Oh, also, speaking of the voice acting, I just snappy gamer. The princess's name is Elika, which seems like sort of just a generically exotic kind of. It's like Erica, but it's Elika. She's exotic. But the best part is her father, he probably exists later in the game too, but I've only seen him at the beginning.
Probably as like the evil viceroy.
Yeah, right. He's trying.
Yeah, right.
Well, he probably is.
I just both said, yeah, right. Never mind.
Yeah, right. Right. How about that? Anyway, he comes in and he's got this kind of deep voice, and I swear to God, it sounds like he just has a lisp or something. He's like, my daughter, Elika. Like, it sounds like he's trying to say Erica, and he just has a speech impediment. Elika, I just want to save you. Like goofy as shit. It's just like the game, it just feels like it's praying for me not to take it seriously or invest myself in it. Because, I mean, on the one hand, you've got these characters who are just these generic as they come. And then on the other hand, you've got the game basically saying nothing you do has any consequence. Like, we will always catch your ass when you fall. Like, there's no way to make this not work.
When there's one set of footprints, it's when Prince of Persia was carrying you.
Yes. And, but you know what really fucking kind of irritates me almost?
What really fucking kind of irritates me almost?
Well, because it's not a real reason to be irritated, but it's still just really fun. It's still really, really fun to run around on the walls and jump around and just actually hit all that stuff and get it right. I mean, it really still is just some of the best implementation of that in any game, and it's just
who's got everything else.
They've been refining it for all these years. I guess it makes sense that they'd be good at it,
and they've let all the other good stuff just fall away.
Yeah, that's just so strange. And it's sort of an almost gorgeous game too. Like I think the composition, the colors, all that stuff is fantastic.
But then they just put toon shading black outlines around everything.
Why do they do that? It makes it look shitty.
Yeah, the color design and the actual just art in general in that game is great.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah,
but I don't know. It makes it look like a thing that I don't like about a lot of anime styled games out of Japan, where it's just there's this.
Right.
It looks like a cartoon
times,
if you just put black outlines around things. Like,
yeah, no, just leave the black outline off, and it will look better. Like it won't. I mean,
maybe they did it because they saw that there wasn't enough contrast, like enough separation.
That's actually probably true
because
there's a lot of pastels.
The color palette is kind of
yeah.
homogenized as nice as it is. So I mean, maybe they did it just for that, and then said, "Hey, now it's like a comic book."
Right. And then you got people on the internet calling it cell shading, which it isn't. But anyway.
Oh, that is the thing that we were talking about. Is that it does to me kind of look. It looks like a lot of modern sort of superhero comic books, which are just inked, and then even though they're inked in sort of in the style of old comic books, they're then just colored like to the most meticulous painted detail in Photoshop over the top. Where it's like if a guy's wearing armor, it's like the black sort of just generally sort of illustrator style stroke, to denote like legs and stuff, and then in Photoshop there's this like perfectly drawn like meticulous armor, and it's like what?
Yeah, I mean, to me it almost looks like those crap. I don't know if you guys even know what I'm talking about. Those crappy like promotional comics you sometimes get with that press people give you for games and stuff, and I'm sure they exist in other contexts as well, where it's just like we got the guys to whip up some renders of these models, and then we put outlines on them and printed them on a page.
Yeah,
I just threw out my Gears of War 2 comic actually.
Exactly. So that's what I think it looks like. Yeah. But I actually do think it looks really nice. I just wish the outline was gone. Cool. Maybe actually on the PC, maybe someone will make a patch, get rid of the outline.
Maybe my graphics card won't be good enough to support those outlines, like the Penny Arcade game.
On that note, actually, I guess since I'm playing it on PC, I should mention it's a really good PC port.
Oh.
It's
and
really
no DRM on the retail.
Yeah, no DRM on the retail. I got it on Steam, so I guess it has whatever Steam uses.
It has,
that's fine. I mean, that's fine with me. I've never had a problem with Steam DRM.
Yeah.
But it's just it's really well done. It runs great. I turned everything up to the maximum without even testing it, and I never have any drop frames. And
the Ultra.
I don't know what it's called, but
Ultra Boost.
Yeah, it's running at native resolution. It's running at 1920 by 1200, which is preposterous. And I mean, I don't know. I mean,
that's not that goofy these days when you have 1920 by 1080 is 1080p.
Yeah, but most people don't actually make their games render in 1080p. Hardly anyone does that. The consoles upscale to it, but
you're right.
Very few games.
Sorry, I take that back. Sorry. 1280 by 720. Anything above that.
No, I'm just saying. It's just, because I only bring it up because honestly, a lot of PC ports these days are shit. You know, like look at Grand Theft Auto 4, which I think they released a patch for.
It was just patched, so maybe it's great.
Who knows?
It actually caused more issues, but anyway.
Did it really?
Yeah.
God. But anyway, I did want to sort of congratulate Ubisoft on making that work because it does feel like a game that's
cool.
Was developed for the PC. It obviously wasn't developed mainly for the PC, but someone cared enough to make it work. So
cool.
Well done. And I originally played it with a mouse, and then I switched over to a 360 one because I have a corded 360 keyboard or keypad, and they both work fine. So
cool.
Yep. Anyway, that's that game.
Prince of Persia the game.
We can take a break.
All right.
Oh, and then this song you're about to hear. I don't even know what I can but
it's a musical tour de force.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at least it's a musical.
It is a musical.
It's opera.
I mean, bear in mind, both sides of this conflict are exaggerated a bit. Yeah.
Oh, this is fact.
Over the last 6 fiscal quarters, I tried to do my best as EA CEO. I told my team we've got to go for more original IP. This many yearly sequels are not for me, and the press, the online forums, did rejoice at our new games. We attracted fewer flames, and we've had Crisis, Dead Space, Mirror's Edge, and Rock Band. That's a fun one. Spore and Valve's whole catalog. Don't mention Hellgate London. We signed up id, Epic Games, even Grasshopper's involved. With all these great game studios, someday our past sins will be absolved. But wait, what's this I see? Is that the latest NBD? What's happened to our stock? It's falling like a rock. No. Hello? Who's there? Bobby Kotick.
Yes, it is I, the CEO of Blizzard Activision. I pump out yearly series with superhuman precision. Don't you see the error of your ways? You thought new IP was what the gamers want to play. No, that's wrong. They just want more of the same for brands to be explored. That is the way you see to profitability.
That doesn't seem right. I thought with our standing we could be a light for creativity and innovation while staying practical with Madam sequelization. Bringing yearly cash, it seems so good. Developers, investors, the media and gamers, a business model we all can get behind. But after all this money spent and time, look at us now.
Oh, come now. John, you know quite well how profit can be turned.
I do?
Look into your past, at methods you have spurned.
You don't mean...
You've been too close, you got attached to the games, you are too kind.
I don't mind.
To really get your money's worth, to take the longer view. There's one thing that always works, and that's to add a 2.
A 2?
2, 3, 4.
Hey, wait a minute. You're right. I've had it all wrong. These new games aren't one-offs, they're
Say it.
franchises.
Go on.
Yeah, franchises. I can see it now. And there's Dead Space 2 and Rock Band 3 and Crisis PSP. Hellgate London Car Quest. How about Dead Space 3?
Dead Space 3?
I've outsourced 2 to Singapore.
That's the spirit.
I'm getting it.
Yes.
Mirror's Edge will do a little bit differently. We'll marry strong business with strong IP.
What does that even mean, John?
I don't know, but it sounds fantastic.
Glad to have you back, my friend.
Yeah. Hey, what's this? Brutal Legend.
But I cancel.
This looks great.
No, you can't do that.
See ya, Bobby.
And so, John Riccitiello charted a fiscal course for electronic arts, free of the influence of Activision. But not even Paxton knows what the future holds. So saith the wizard.
Speaking of 8-bit alarm cock, welcome back. No,
You don't want to know what our discussions are when we're
No.
taking a break.
but we'll tell you. We were talking about the 800 million domain names that point to our site.
You don't want to know.
Yeah,
Trust me.
So,
But we're going to tell you anyway.
Yeah, our podcast is, as you probably know, available at idlethumbs.net. But it's also available.
Tell me more.
It's available at 800 million other domain names because our readers keep buying us domain names, and we also buy some.
Kind of them.
It's nice of you, yeah.
Yeah.
So the latest one, which is a reference to 8-bit cock, which was from like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Well, also, I might as well say that 8bitcock.com was already registered, which is 8 spelled out EIGHT. And then Toblix, I think, from the forums.
Yeah.
Also registered 8bitalarmcock.com, which is 8, the number 8-bit alarm cock. And that's a countdown to...
It's a count up, I think. Or is it a countdown?
I don't know.
There's a timer on there
I
counting.
thought it was
We
an
don't know what
IP
it
address.
means.
But anyway...
The numbers are constantly changing.
It's an ARG.
It's I don't know. One of our
Tell us
readers,
what it means.
one of our readers made this weird site that has like a number that just changes.
If
and
you
we don't know
can
what it
decode
means.
8-bit alarm cock and send your what it is to questions@idlethumbs.net, we would really love to know what that is.
Yeah, we'd be thrilled to know.
But anyway, just for the record, in addition to those, we also have strategychocolate.biz, explodemode.com with a hyphen. That's a great site.
Yeah.
Videogames.com, ViGAViGAViGas.com, GotY.cx, and then idlethumbs.net and idlethumbs.com. So there are like 9 or 10 ways to get to our site now.
Come to our site once a day, and every day of the week you can get there a different way.
Yep. Some of those sites also contain secret
Bonus
surprises.
splash pages and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How did that start? Did someone just do it? Like, did someone just make? Was Explode Mode maybe the first one?
I think strategychocolate.biz
Strategy
as a
Chocolate.
forward. Someone just
Oh,
bought
that's
that.
right. Someone just bought that and just gave it to us. I think it's still theirs though. They reserve the right, I think, to reclaim it
Yeah.
at any time.
So when the competing strategy chocolate podcast starts, you know that they got the idea from us.
Yeah.
And the money from themselves.
Anyway,
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, this is it's gonna be a terrible seg.
That's a bad
God,
It's gonna
seg.
be
I
a
was gonna
terrible
say
seg.
It's a segue.
You know,
All right.
but I guess this is something related to something we were talking about off air as well. The recent Sony ad, which I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen.
I have definitely not seen this.
Well, yeah, you guys
Sony
haven't.
ad.
I'm
Is it
saying,
a
you know,
TV ad or is it like
real
a-
video game fans have seen it.
Well, that just goes to show you.
Yeah.
I hate video games.
Yeah.
Was this on the web or a TV or?
Yeah, it's a TV ad.
Oh, it's
and
like a
it's,
TV
it's like their
commercial?
holiday. Yeah, TV commercial, TV com.
Jake gets very offended when you call those little videos in between shows on TV ads.
I know.
He hates it.
It's a break from the
You gotta-
sponsor.
you gotta- very charitable of you.
We set aside a little time.
Because we appreciate them. Anyway,
They-
what is
they
this
wanna
thing
tell
that
you
you're
about
talking about?
Oh, well, it's this guy, and he buys a PlayStation 3, and he's like, yeah, great, I can play like Resistance 2, Motocross, and then
Sorry. Does he actually list off a bunch of names?
yeah, no, he does,
Like the
because it's
Infogram song?
So it's not about games, so the Sony had to like get a few games in there just to,
Okay, anyway.
remind people that it's a game machine. But so she's like, yeah, Resistance 2, and then his like girlfriend comes in, and she's like, oh, is that a PlayStation 3? And he's like,
What?
He's like, yeah, honey, no, it's my internet movie playing machine. He's like, look, you can download all these movies, and then that's their holiday ad. Is
Can
like,
you?
Yeah, you can, I guess.
Nice.
As it turns out,
Well, they don't have that many, do they?
Well, it's a computer entertainment system. it can do everything a computer can do.
Yeah.
Hello, Gaff.
Anyway, that is really weird. That's a really weird marketing strategy.
Yeah, it's the,
Fool your significant other into
Right.
spending $400 to play a movie.
yeah.
Man.
I mean, I guess
Crazy Ken
guess
is spinning in his
that
fucking
is-
grave
I mean,
at that ad.
Although, now that I kind of honestly give a second of thought to it, like,
A second of thought.
yeah, well, I thought about it for about a second.
Oh.
That is a fairly brilliant. I mean, I don't
Is
know if it'll
it
actually
brilliant?
work.
It might be his sort of sexist and demeaning. Also, no, honey, it's
Right.
not for games.
But it might
it's this
also-
crazy box that
but
plays
it might
your favorite
also
movies.
be accurate. I mean, come on
It's
now.
true. It is
Like,
true. Yeah.
guess.
That could happen.
I know.
That probably has happened many, many times.
probably
It has
has-
happened. I am like proof. Like,
Is that every time you buy a system?
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. No, like
But
that
I thought we
exact
have
scene.
3 other things that play movies. This one plays even more movies.
Yeah.
This one lets you make a me.
On what other system?
Yeah. And the guy who introduced it originally said it would play movies, but it doesn't. But it,
But hey, no returns.
Everybody
what
votes.
Can I do? I already opened it. Yeah, everybody votes. You know what's funny about that, actually? Steve, who's been on the podcast a couple times, his girlfriend does not play video games at all.
But she votes
She
like
loves
fuck.
everybody votes. They both, every day, I don't know if they still do this, but for a long time, months and months and months, every day they went on to
Yeah.
however long, whenever they refreshed the questions, they went on and voted.
Yeah.
And it's just like a ritual with them.
I do that with my girlfriend all the time.
That's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
have aliens visited this planet?
It's really interesting because, and I don't say this in like in a way that this is like sort of my larger belief, but man, like it was really weird just to see trends actually reflected. I mean, it is kind of actually a pretty cool idea
Yeah,
for
no,
a thing to put on a console. Just like
it is really
to
cool.
see those weird trends play out through like across regions and like age groups and even genders in a lot of cases.
Depends on like some of them are just stupid. But,
Well, obviously some of them are
but-
stupid. Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess I have I'm thinking of the interesting ones because they actually, when I was at their house one time, that was mainly my experience
Yeah.
with this
Are you
channel.
left-handed or right-handed?
Them, yeah, like, well,
just
that's
shit like
stupid,
that is-
obviously. But I mean,
Yeah.
they were
Are you
showing
a
me
boy
a bunch
or
of
a
the
girl?
ones. Yeah. God damn it! I always fuck
The
this one up.
breakdown for that would actually be great.
It would
probably
actually, yeah, it would be.
Who
it would.
self-identifies weird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, I guess fool your, I don't know, spouse or girlfriend
Yeah.
into buying.
Do you like games hoodwink someone else into buying a PlayStation? They can watch Finding Nemo Blu-ray.
Yep, man, I bought the Wall-E Blu-ray. That thing is amazing. That movie's goddamn good, and I watch it on my PS3. I really,
You fooled yourself.
I fooled myself.
It's your movie playing machine.
You thought you were going to play motocross or whatever.
Yeah, I thought I was going to play Resistance 2 Motocross or whatever weird fictional game you invented. The best Resistance yet. It'll blow you away.
On your sweet dirt bike.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, but it's. I mean, at the risk of sounding.
I mean, Microsoft
stupid.
could have that same ad though.
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
Buy this Xbox. It plays Netflix movies.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. The PS3 is really a nice Blu-ray player. Like, I actually am really glad I have it now. Like, I mean, it's not. I never would have bought a Blu-ray player for myself ever. Like,
Right.
that's just not the kind of thing I would have thought to
Oh yeah,
spend
no,
money on.
it's
but
still
like,
a big selling point for me for getting a PS3.
I mean, it's really, really nice being able to see movies like that in high definition. It's ridiculous to be saying this now 2 years later or whatever, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's handy.
I wasn't entirely kidding about the 360 and Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, like the number of people on my friends list who are perpetually like, so-and-so is playing Netflix.
Mhm.
yeah,
like-
actually, that's me a lot lately.
Yeah.
Especially as I've become I've just started becoming such a dominantly PC gamer again.
Right.
My 360 actually has been the Netflix machine since it came out. Ticket to Ride also. Ticket to Ride and Netflix.
This is super slovenly, but I found an app for my iPhone that lets you update your Netflix instant queue. So I now sit on my couch searching on my iPhone for
God.
Netflix movies, add them
That's
to the
awesome.
queue, and then
Oh,
play it on the
man.
360.
You're turning into the Twilight Princess player.
I am. But yeah, I mean, seriously, you probably could make an ad for the 360 that's like 360. It's got a lot of sweet games. But you'll really use it for Netflix all the fucking time.
And Live Arcade.
And Live Arcade.
I mean, Ticket to Ride is pretty great. No one ever talks about it, but I mean, really, that game and Netflix.
Oh man, that reminds me of the
all you really need.
Netflix achievements.
The Netflix achievements.
Oh yeah.
It's my personal wish that the Netflix app on the 360 would actually give you gamer points and achievements. I
The
would
cheesiest, stupidest shit ever.
I would
Yeah.
love it. Like Netflix could encourage good movie watching taste by giving you
So there's
achievements.
like a panel of judges that determines.
Well, yeah, if it's like, or just like watch 3.
You have unlocked The Godfather 2.
Well, just like watch 3 film noir movies rated 4
Yeah.
stars or higher to completion.
You have seen 4 movies by Sidney Lumet. Like,
Right. That'd be
I mean,
awesome.
that'd be kind of sweet, actually.
I would
I mean, you know what it really would be, though, is you watched Iron Man 18 times.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It would
The
definitely
Dark
be that.
Knight seen again.
Right. Yeah, it would be
Not that that's
Warner
a good
Brothers
movie,
Extreme Marathon Challenge, Iron Man.
but- Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a naive Xbox player. I didn't know that like Madden had sponsored achievements until the other day when
Oh.
Steve Gaynor told me that of like the Extreme Mountain Dew like Juke Challenge.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they really?
Oh my God! Going back to Spike TV real quick. Their independent.
Speaking of extreme,
Their independent games was sponsored by Mountain Dew. It was like
Oh.
best independent game fueled by the Dew. It's like, how could you pick 2 worse things?
Yeah.
Like a worse award to sponsor with a big corporation. And Braid was nominated for that, and I interviewed Braid in Montreal.
you interviewed Frank Braid.
I interviewed John Blow a few weeks ago in Montreal, and I asked him, I'm like, how do you feel being nominated for Best Independent Game fueled by Mountain Dew? And he just had the most like pained, depressed look on his face, and he's like, what, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, it's sponsored by Mountain Dew. And he's like, oh, I might have to withdraw my game from that.
Oh,
I don't
what
think
a
he did.
douche. Sorry, like whatever. Take your goddamn award and your crate of Dew.
And your creative Dew. Did he win it? I don't know. I haven't looked at the winners of the
All
Spike.
participants get Mountain Dew the home game.
Nice.
It's just a 2-liter.
Do you know if he won the independent thing?
I didn't watch the awards.
I didn't either.
I don't know if it was that or World. I think it might have been World of Game, but
Yeah, those are both good games.
If there's one thing I don't watch, it's the independent games.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much. I mean, coming from Spike, like,
It means a
honestly,
lot.
I mean, who watching that would? I don't know. Well, whatever.
Maybe
I shouldn't assume too much. I
I mean,
guess.
in all honesty, that's good that Spike has
I guess it
independent
is.
games.
You're right. You're
Because like I like Mountain Dew,
yeah.
maybe I'll like Braid, and maybe they would, and then maybe
That's
they'll
why,
play some other
why
stuff.
do you think I played it?
yeah.
Yeah, and it was true. Anyway, I mean, speaking of independent games, actually, I'm a judge on the Independent Game Festival this year, and I
So this is some hot scoops for the IGF coming up.
yeah.
Who will win?
Braid. It was so great we had to just give it an award next year too. Yes.
Braid award.
They rewound time, and it turns out it didn't win any awards before. So
Yeah, that guy sucked at playing. He thought anyway. Braid 2.
Anyway, so I've been checking out the games, doing my judging for it, and some of these games are freaking awesome. Like the ones that each judges are randomly selected. So I've only so far played sort of a small subset.
How does that work? Do you have to actually score these games like 1 to 5 or something like that, or do you just?
Yeah, it's cheesy
graphics?
GameSpot style, like
Like
artistic achievement,
Fun
or like
factor?
artistic graphics.
tilt.
No, there's none of that. It's like innovation, game design, sound, technical graphics, artistic graphics, and like overall. I mean, they have to do it that way because there's I don't know, like 20 judges or whatever, and they've got to somehow whittle it down. Like,
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I understand why they do it that way for those purposes.
That's fine.
It does sort of irritate me having to score something.
You
on
wish you could write like
innovation.
a 2-page long sort of like travel journal of what it's
Well,
like being
there
immersed
is
in the world.
There is a space for written feedback, and I took advantage of it for every game. But anyway,
Sorry.
some of the I just wanted to call out some of these because some of them are pretty goddamn cool. There's one actually called Atmosphir, which is spelled Atmosphir, which I think is just atmosphere.com. And it's basically Little Big Planet, but on the PC and Mac and 3D instead of 2D. I mean, the art direction's totally different. It's more of a
But it's the sort of user built encouraged.
yeah, it's all user built, and it's really nice. It plays really well. It's just like a really cool, like make a 3D platformer thing. I mean, it's like a lot of people are like recreating Mario 64 levels and stuff because it's on a 3D.
That's what everyone always does when
Yeah.
they get excited about community world creation tools. That's cool though. I mean, it's a good place to
I
start.
mean, there's also 3D remakes of like Mario 1 levels, for example,
Right.
stuff like that. And then there's just like
they're stretching it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
really the creative muscles are being flexed here. But no, there's actually a huge amount of user created content already. It's in some kind of beta, I guess, right now.
Cool.
And it's just really cool. It's really, really, really slick. It does not, I mean, it feels like
It does not feel like an independent game.
it doesn't, well, I mean, compared to most of the stuff I'm playing, which definitely,
Yeah,
even if it's really great, like, it looks like it's made by a few guys, and I like that most of the time. Like, I like
Right.
seeing a game that's like, oh man, a few dudes made this and like just made it on their own. Like, that's, I think, really awesome. But this game really, I think, probably has a lot of people on it because it's pretty polished and
or one robot.
yeah. But it's pretty cool. I guess I don't want to mention all these or I'll go on forever, but Spheroid is really cool. It's like Puzzle Bobble, but with physics. I mean, that's probably the most succinct way to put it.
There's so many genuinely good indie games that are.
Yeah.
It's like this classic game, but with a really good physics implementation.
Yeah, but it really makes this game really cool because you can do stuff like, basically in this game, it's Puzzle Bobble. You match the bubbles, and when you match them, they break off from whatever clump they're attached to, and they fall down. But since it's all physics based, if they fell down without actually matching 3 and disappearing,
Right.
you can shoot another bubble into it, and it will actually react with collision and physics and send it careening off another direction, and maybe clump back into another group of bubbles.
that's
it's just
cool.
like really cool. You can do crazy bank shots and this crazy shit, and it's
What's that called?
called Spheroid.
Okay.
And it's fun. Let's see. There's one called Dyson that I bring up because it's kind of like a weird cross between Sins of a Solar Empire and Galcon, like that game that you play on iPhone all the time. It's kind of like Sins in that it's got that. It's like planet. It takes place on planets. It's all very simple 2D line art. It's really elegant and nice looking, and it's got the kind of Sins or I guess Supreme Commander also style scroll where you can zoom right in and see the little individual guys, scroll all the way out and see essentially an overall map that's just a zoom out. And it's basically just deals with planting trees on these planets, which in turn hatch seedlings, and then you send those seedlings off to colonize other planets. So in that respect, it's very similar to Galcon, but with the added mechanic of planting stuff
Right.
on
It's
the
got
planets.
the close-up strategy as well as just dragging troops off of your planet.
Exactly. Yeah,
Cool.
it's really fun. It's stripped down, and I sort of started playing it and was like, this feels way too basic. And then, of course, as you start getting into the harder levels, it starts really taking advantage of the few mechanics it does have in a really cool way.
Cool.
And it looks nice. It's just like a really simple line art, really cool looking thing. Last one I guess I'll mention is Retrograde, which is really difficult to explain. It's basically a horizontal side-scrolling shooter in the vein of, like Defender or like R-Type or whatever. I mean, just not that it plays like those, but you're a ship on a horizontal axis.
Yeah.
And
Like flying through space.
except you're going backwards. And the idea of the game is you are like a captain of a ship who saved a space princess or whatever. And like,
So it's what happens at the end of a regular shmup.
it's like what I can't say it because it'll be a spoiler, but basically, a spoiler of a different game. But basically, is it okay to spoil Braid?
Oh, I haven't finished it yet, but
I shouldn't then.
you can spoil it.
Well, fuck, I just did by saying.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway, the
Now you really by saying that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm everyone's fucked. We're all screwed. God
Here's a
damn
secret
it.
about the narration in Sands of Time.
The premise of this game is you are a sort of space fighter shooting guy who just completed an entire adventure of scrolling forward sideways in space, and then someone fucked with the space-time continuum, and now you have to do it all backwards. And so
You totally didn't have to make any sort of analogy to any other game to explain that. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah, you're right. So the way it works is God damn it.
I wish you could just rewind time.
Shot like oh no. Like energy blasts fly from enemy ships out into your gun, and you must press the fire button as they hit your gun.
Oh man.
Does that
crazy.
make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then other lasers come from the left side of the screen into you, and you must dodge those as they come backwards.
And that represents
the
other guys.
the shots.
Right.
No, that represents the shots that the guys to your right shot at you in the future.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just like, and also it's all timed to music. So all this stuff happens on a timeline. So like,
do the sound effects happen in reverse?
No, but that'd be funny. Actually, I guess they kind of do. It's a very sort of like ambiguous laser bzz sound. So it's
probably zooped.
yeah. And so it's all synced to music. So the whole time you're doing this, there are vertical lines coming both towards you from the right side of the screen and in the opposite direction from the left side of the screen in time with the lasers.
So it's also kind of secretly a rhythm game?
Exactly. It's a rhythm game. And you can play it either with, if you have a gamepad, you can play it using the analog stick to go up and down the screen. There's like rows. Or if you're on the computer, you can do it like that with the arrow keys, or you can use like the number keys to just jump straight to a row, which I prefer doing.
Can you actually just plug in your guitar?
You could probably do that, and that'd be awesome, and I wish I would have thought to try it. If there's a USB driver that just turns the guitar input into generic controller input, then yeah, you probably could. But it's really cool. It's one of the cleverest takes on both the rhythm genre and the side-scrolling shooter genre at the same time. The guy basically didn't have to invent any new mechanics. He just had to frame them in a hilarious way.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
And it's awesome. It's so cool. It's called Retrograde.
All of those sound pretty awesome.
Yeah, those were probably my favorite ones that I rated personally.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, so that was a long, dry segment of me talking a lot.
No, I don't know. All those games, I want to play them all.
I'll check them out.
Yeah.
Sweet games.
Total Games.
Totally games.
They made X-Wing.
Fact.
Man, that was a genre. Where the hell are all the goddamn space sims? Anyway,
They all got crossed with music.
like the Cowboys, they're all gone. What? They all got crossed with music? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right, you guys want to do some reader mail?
Yeah, reader mail.
I love reader mail. It's like when readers have mail. How about that? All right. Thomas Barcus writes, "Hey y'all, my name is Thomas." Okay. Over the last few weeks, I've been playing games like a madman. I just beat GTA and played Rock Band 2 and beat the Endless Set List, etc. But now I've hit the wall while playing Fallout 3. After beating Fable 2, I put 10 hours into Fallout and now I'm stuck. And then he describes sort of a situation where he's in the game. Oh, I see what he's saying. In the basement of a building with a settlement with at least 10 super mutants. I have no ammo. I have 50 hit points. I haven't saved in hours. So
that's my life sometimes in Half-Life games. I hate that. Anyway,
so that's his question basically is, have you ever hit the wall so hard you just stop playing games entirely for a while, and then what brings you back to the game? Thanks and love the show. It's like coolness, peace and chicken grease, lateness. Thomas B.
If it's a PC game with a console, like with a developer console, like Tilde,
like a Tilde.
I usually just cheat my way out of that because I'm a fucking schmo. So the internet hates me now. I'm sorry, but
or you can
it's true.
You can download a save.
Direct hate mail to questions@idlethumbs.net.
Why download a save when you can just turn on
fucking
God mode,
shoot
give yourself
your
some ammo.
shit.
Yeah, I hate games, and I hate
Well, that I guess
having self-esteem.
Yeah, I don't do that usually. Usually, I just get in those states and I just stop playing the game.
Yeah,
That's the other option. It's
That's
just
definitely happened to me.
yeah.
I mean, have you guys ever gotten to a state though that he describes where you just stop playing games in like not just that game, but you sort of just get burned out and you just sort of stop?
That happened to me in Metroid Prime. I got to a point where just the way I was set up, I was just raped. Actually, in Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, that also happened to me.
Oh yeah, I remember dealing with you for like dealing with you. I remember putting up with your shit for 2 years. No, I remember,
in Sands of Time, I got to the point
every
where
3 months I'd be like, "So, you ever play more Sands of Time?" And you were still in the elevator.
Well, I lost my memory card, so that game is good. But yeah,
so you never beat it?
No, I've seen someone else.
The ending of that game.
I've seen someone else complete the game since then.
Fair
But yeah, I had a save game forever that was on the spinning spiral thing where just a million guys come and rape me.
Yeah.
And my save game started with almost no health, and
God,
that was the end of that game. And for like a couple weeks, that was the end of me playing games because I hated games for hating
games
me.
are so weird in that respect. They can just sort of
if you see a bad movie, you're not like, I'm putting down Phil.
Yeah, I couldn't even get to the end. I had to walk out of the theater, and like you know, like that doesn't happen. I guess it happens sometimes.
Probably some guy.
Yeah, but yeah, that sucks. Man, that also just makes me think about how fucking good Sands of Time was. Like, it was just good. It was a good game. The combat was not that great, but like, just compared to everything else about that game, literally every other thing except the combat was so good. Man, really fun game.
But yeah, man.
Just playing this new Prince of Persia just makes me
sometimes I get into a chapter in a book.
Yeah.
And I just swear off reading for 6 months.
That has happened to me.
That is that's actually happened to me. That's it. Yeah, like
I hate when that happens, but it has happened to me before.
I guess I don't know. That actually hasn't happened to me.
It happened to me with Cryptonomicon by Neil Stephenson.
That happens to a lot of people with that book, I think.
Yeah, I don't actually want to go back and finish it.
Really. Oh man, that book actually gets pretty good.
Oh really?
Yeah.
All right, maybe I will. Anyway, fact.
Yeah,
it happened to me in Rogue Leaders when I got halfway through. After Grim Fandango came out, it became lame. Actually, it happened to me in Grim Fandango.
Yeah, I got stuck in Rubikava for quite a long time.
Yeah. That game took me that game probably took me the better part of a year to complete. I never went on the internet to look for. I don't know why. I should have just gone and looked for a goddamn hint guide.
I just cheated.
I just opened up the console and turned on God mode.
Sweet.
Spawn the bone wagon.
Yeah.
Drive, no clip, drive through the whole fucking level.
Is that the name of this episode?
Spawn the bone wagon. That's not a bad name. Oh man, I saw this commercial for some product called Wonder Boner, and it's like it bones fish. Anyway, it was pretty funny.
When you said it bones fish, I was at first confused.
Yeah, it was a really disgusting product.
Weird. It was definitely on after 10 p.m.
It was one of those channels where it was coming through fuzzy, and I could only sort of make out what there was.
Wonder Boner. What?
It bones fish. What?
Yeah, I couldn't see it. It was scrambled, but it was probably really fucking horrible.
So yeah, you can search for that, I guess.
So anyway, yeah, that's what happens when a game gets tough.
Wonderboner.com, soon to be a redirect.
I hope so. Boy,
that's
that traffic. Yes. Those are the people we need reading art.
We need the page rank.
Yeah.
Wonder Boner will bring us.
It's a totally different demographic. Just think how much it'll expand our SEO.
Yeah, I was searching for Wonder Boner and I got idle thumbs.
Maybe they'll send us a question.
Yeah.
So you guys sell the Wonder Boner or what? Is that
I got
what?
this fish.
It's been hanging around here for a few days, so I'm hoping you can help me out.
By the way, here's my game idea.
Yeah. That is, for those who don't know, that is a thing that happens all the time. If you run or work for any kind of website that has anything to do with games, people will think you're the people that make the game, and they will send you sometimes handwritten letters about why you should make this game idea. So if anyone's going to do that, we don't make the games, actually.
We'll talk about your
I guess
game
Jake
idea.
Does.
I mean,
yeah.
Do not send unsolicited game ideas to Telltale Games. I think we legally must throw them away.
Sweet.
But if you send them to questions@idlethumbs.net, we'll read them and discuss their merits or make fun of you. So
that sounds like a winning option.
Send us your design doc or log in to your game design wiki if you're a game development studio.
Sweet. Anyway, I don't know what we're talking about, but let's...
Yeah.
Reader mail.
Reader mail. Here's another one. Now, this is hilarious because this comes from Benjamin Licker Pendergrass IV.
The Return of Pendergrass.
The Return of Pendergrass. This is a This is a
character?
It is basically...
He's a fictional character.
He basically became
Citation
a character.
needed.
Anyone who listened to the Shackcast when Nick and I were doing that with Chris Failer and occasionally Steve Gibson and Martin Goldstein might remember... I mean, that's probably a small group of who's listening, but those of you who
It was the ShackNews.com podcast from a year or so ago.
That was, we got an email from a guy named Benjamin Pendergrass.
Yes.
And for some reason, we thought his name was so hilarious that we started just referring to him all the time, like in all the
Wasn't
episodes.
basically
everybody
every
was
reader who
Pendergrass.
sent something in was Pendergrass on that podcast.
Yeah. And so I guess
But this is the real Pendergrass.
this is him. Like, he's back. Now he listens to Idle Thumbs. Yeah. So, he says, he writes, Dear Idle Thumbs, even though I've been a subscriber of your podcast since episode 2 or 3, I didn't get around to listening to it till episode 6. You see, me and my wife were driving to Niagara Falls for the weekend, and the 10-hour drive gave me a chance to listen.
He told his wife it played Blu-ray movies.
The 10-hour drive gave me a chance to listen to them all back to back. The problem is the majority of the listening was done on Interstate 90 in New York. If you've never had the pleasure of driving I-90, it's very flat, very straight. Well, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
We're very knowledgeable on the Idle Thumbs podcast. It's a very flat, very straight, very boring stretch of highway that will test the willpower of any human. Needless to say, after
It made your podcast horrible.
That's what he's saying.
Oh, shit.
Needless to say, after driving that 300 miles and 5 hours both ways the trip, I've developed a deep-seated hatred for that highway. When I got home, I was excited that I was caught up with all the back episodes of the podcast and could now start listening to the new episodes during my commute to work. But when I started listening to episode 7, I was very irritated for some reason. After I'd finished the episode, I figured out it wasn't the podcast itself or the people that made me irritated, but rather that I created a mental association with your voices to that agonizing experience on I-90. Let my experience serve as a warning to all your listeners who might think listening to a good podcast on a long trip might be a good idea to pass the time. Forever yours, Benjamin Licker Pendergrass IV. It's a sad tale.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
Man.
Well, now you can say that. It doesn't matter because he already thinks we're
It's like a Clockwork
stupid,
Orange.
boring assholes. So, fuck you.
So just for that guy's IP address, all downloads from now on will actually just be us talking over the sound of sort of tires running along pavement.
Yeah.
It's targeted content. So yeah, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's
sorry about
unfortunate.
that.
Sorry
Mr.
about that.
There's a
Pendergrass.
really
Yeah.
good breakfast place on that road, though.
A really good breakfast place.
Man, hot scoop.
They serve up the hot scoops.
Yeah.
All right. Matthew Kumar, who some of you might know because he writes freelance for a number of publications on the internet, writes, I'm really shooting you a quick email to say I just listened to the last Idle Thumbs, which is very enjoyable. A winner is you, etc. And your story about Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis struck me deep in my heart because I did the exact same thing. What he's referring to is, really quickly, when I played in Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis with a buddy back in '93 or whenever it came out, we got to the last puzzle in the game and didn't know where the clue was.
Yeah.
And just,
brute forcing the final puzzle of
solved
Fate of
a
Atlantis.
horrible number puzzle, like circular radial puzzle, by just trying every single
Do
combination.
you think he did the same thing as you two, where right after he solved it, he walked into the next room and saw the solution?
I think that's what he says. He capitalizes exact same thing. So I'm guessing that's what
That's the
happened.
saddest thing. Also, a winner is you was
Yeah.
said, sadly.
And then he adds, except I did it completely alone because I didn't have any friends.
Oh, these are sad emails.
That's I know.
This is like
This is the worst reader mail. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all great, but this is
Yeah.
I'm sad now.
So he says, high five for being dumbasses when we were 13 or however old. Matthew Kumar.
That's the best, actually.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad someone wrote in and
If
and
you have
shared
any
my
stories about how you were the same as Chris, but
15-year-old
more
sorrow.
sad,
Ouch.
no, whatever.
Yeah.
The number of adventure games I completed alone, wishing that I had friends to hang out with, is high.
Yep.
Yeah.
This would be hilarious if there was someone else in the room to laugh with me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was weird. Then I read XKCD for a couple weeks.
What? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up with you guys?
Playing
Oh.
Defense Grid.
Oh, yeah. Are you actually playing? Are you actually playing that?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
So Defense Grid is a $20 tower defense game on Steam.
No,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty good.
What's good about it?
Like most tower defense games, you get when the monsters get to the end of the fucking path, they you're done, right? But this one,
in this game,
they
they go backwards when they get to the end. It's like Braid.
They do go backwards. They pick up little orbs and they carry them off in the direction.
So there's a monster who picks up an orb.
Well, there's an entrance and an exit.
This is like when we saw that PopCap Games presentation, and they're like, it's really important to be innovative in your games. Now, this might look like a ripoff of this game from this other company.
Right, it looks like a regular Match 3.
A gold background.
No, the background would flash gold when you made a Match 3.
Gold.
Super innovative. Sorry, I thought you were going to say that it was like when our friend Jared was trying to describe Pikmin to someone else.
Yeah.
You are this spaceman.
You have a spaceship.
I can't remember what he's... Anyway,
I don't remember either, but
amazing.
it started in a hilarious way. Anyway, Nick, Defense Grid.
Yeah, it's good. It's like tower defense.
Would you pay $20 for it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Did you
I've
pay
been thinking about. I've been
$20?
seriously thinking about no, because I got it for free. So I was thinking about how that sort of plays with your mind a little bit. Because I was enjoying it, but at the same time, when I paid,
It's easy to
$20,
enjoy a free thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to enjoy a $20 thing either, though.
No, well, I enjoyed it to
when
the
there are
point that
so
I probably,
many really good free tower defense games.
Yeah,
That's true.
It might be hard to enjoy a $20 thing.
Yeah.
That was my concern. I saw that game demoed at Penny Arcade Expo,
Mhm.
and I was extremely skeptical as to whether that was necessary at all.
But Nick likes it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good version. It's a good version. It's a pretty solid version of tower defense. If you're like really into that genre, then
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
yeah, I don't know. It's actually the one other notable thing about it is it's
I heard
really
it as a story.
ham-fisted story
a
that is just
justification
ridiculous.
for why these aliens are marching along.
Oh my
It's a
god!
monster.
No, they're aliens in that game.
You have like this robot sidekick that is like a
Oh,
portal
man.
thing
Does he-
where he's
does he
just
crack
like every now and then
wise?
he's like Zeke, no, and then, like
Oh, he's a melodramatic side?
yeah, he's really
Why
like,
isn't
That
he wacky?
sucks. Why isn't he wacky?
He's
I want him to be
like,
like
oh, no.
Aladdin.
I want
my
wacky
whole
side-
race has been destroyed. And then
How many of those depressing
this, like,
side
emo
things ever?
robots?
This is
Yeah.
like someone who writes into our podcast.
yeah.
Sorry, I love you guys.
Yeah. But then
I
at the
think
end,
it's
you
a
never really
robot
find out what
Eeyore.
happened. That's the worst part.
A robot
He's
Eeyore.
just
man,
like,
what-
Zeke, you remind me of Zeke, and then at the end, you never fucking find out like
Who Zeke is?
You beat
Zeke
him.
Is it
why
like
that was important.
is it like Gears of War style where it's just like I remember your trial and it's just like I guess I had a trial.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. It's kind of it's almost so goofy that it comes back around, but
Cool. Well,
That's weird.
yeah,
so that was our bonus round, secret game.
yeah.
One more thing, I guess, before we go is we're still taking suggestions for the Idle Thumbs GotY.cx Game of the Year.
Are
so why not?
Okay.
I don't know.
Fine.
We got there's a few more days.
Yeah, send us more games of the year. And
Yeah, just go to GotY.cx.
people are doing cool stuff. People are writing in about games that aren't necessarily the ones most people would consider the number one game of the year, but people are writing about sort of games that they liked that they thought just sort of are cool things to mention, even
Yeah,
if they
games
weren't
that stood out to
necessarily
them
the
for
best
some
game.
reason
Yeah,
this
so
year.
it doesn't have to be
like
the game
Braid.
you thought was the it doesn't have to be the game you thought was the single best game of the year or anything. People
Yeah.
are one guy wrote in about Mirror's Edge and said he knows that's not going to be a common pick, but
Right, and
No,
one
Smash
guy wrote about
Brothers,
Smash
too.
Brothers
yeah,
Brawl.
Smash Brothers, and there's been some World of Goo and some good stuff. So yeah, if you guys go to GotY.cx.
So these are games that we obviously don't think are Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
all those games.
Yeah, they're all pretty sweet.
No More Heroes, someone wrote in. Space Giraffe, someone wrote in. That'll be interesting to read. That game is now available on PC via Steam, I
Oh
think.
yeah, with less
Maybe not Steam.
with less drugs.
It's on PC for sure.
Cool. Anyway, that's Idle Thumbs 10.
That was Idle Thumbs 10.
Yes.
A rip-rollicking ride.
You can edit that out.
I might.
Leave that one.
The Wizard.
The Wizard.
It's December. What the fuck?
I didn't want to laugh into the thing in case you were actually going to record something.
I just looked up and you're
Projecting
going,
the laugh.
like your mouth looked like the box on the cover of like Final Doom. You know how there's like those melting skulls? You were just like,
Sweet.
yeah.
it's amazing.
Anyway,
Yeah, anyway, it's December. Can we just use my other one?
no.